back to my channel. This is Hope and I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to be making Y2K motif nails. Here is my mood board that I'm using. It's a lot of stars, butterflies and denim kind of vibes. And as always, I want to highlight nail safety, so please don't touch uncured gel with your skin and do adequate research if you want to do gel nails. So to start, I finally got the Canoe square short tips, so these are what I'm using. I no longer have to cut down and file my longer tips to shorter, so I'm super happy about that. And we can just get on with the nail prep, which is pretty much attaching the tips to the stands and then filing them and then wiping them down with gel cleanser. These tips especially I find need filing a little bit more because they can be a bit uneven, but it's nothing major, and honestly it takes a lot of work out of having to cut down longer tips, so I'm super happy. Especially because they're a really nice length. Even though they're short, they're not too short and they're not too long. They're like in between your usual short length and your medium length, so it's actually really perfect for me. Yeah, highly recommend these tips. And so now we can move on to the polishes I'm using. They're mainly blues, so it's more of a milky blueberry blue and then a dark denim ashy blue, as well as this Toy dress gel, which is a really pretty glitter kind of polish. And I'm going to be using chrome powder, especially the blue, and then these flake strips as well. And firstly, I'm going to start with the chrome bases. So I'm using the Hoholi Chakan top coat as always, which I love for doing chrome. We can paint a pretty thick layer of this and then cure it for 30 seconds. I find this top coat is very finicky in terms of you have to cure it for 30 seconds. Otherwise, the powder rubs on quite patchy or powdery. And then I'll just go in with the powder. And I'm going to do this for 2 nails. So here's the second nail as well. I did seal these in with top coat. I'm not sure where that clip went, but I thought that actually these nails are very transparent because the blue only gives a very mild sheen. So I'm painting over with 1 coat of white as well, just to give a little more opacity to the base of these nails for the design later on. The chrome bases are finished for now, so we can move on to the ombre bases. This is a pretty common technique that I do in almost every set right now. Pretty much, yeah, every set that I do uses this technique. It's very simple. You just paint on your polishes onto your nail in the sort of design that you want. Like for this one, I'm doing glitter to pale blue to deep blue. But one tip I want to mention here, when you do this technique, it's your best friend if you do it in terms of light to dark colors. So do your transparent or your white shades first, and then your medium or deeper shades, and then your darkest shades at the end, so that you can just really make sure that you're not cross-contaminating between your brushes at all in your polishes. And then we can take a stippling brush and stipple all of that out. And then I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds and go in with a second coat doing the same design. Stippling out, and then here we are. And then I'm going to speed up the whole process for the next nail because I'm doing this again for a second nail. And here are both nails completed side by side. And because one of the designs I'm doing for one of the nails is going to be on top of a mat, I'm just going to paint a matte top coat on this, and then this nail is ready for the design later on. Next, I'm attempting something new for myself, which is more of a negative space kind of aesthetic. Looking back, I think that I would do this differently because I think putting it on top of transparent doesn't really work that well. But my idea for this is I'm painting the circles first in my gel, and then I'm going to be filling in everything that is not going to be the negative parts of this design using the actual paint polish brush here. And then I'm going to go in with my liner brush that I was using to draw the circles, just to really refine all of those lines. We can cure that for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with a second coat on all of the polished parts. And yeah, because I thought that actually the transparent probably wouldn't look that great, I went in with the lighter blue shade just to fill in those circles and just refine that out with a different cleaner liner brush, just to add a little bit of opacity to it. But again, I don't know if this outcome really worked how I wanted it to, so it's a work in progress. I'll probably revisit this design. And then I'm going to do the same on a second nail just doing some different circle negative space designs as well. And the reason why I think that I would attempt this differently was because I got my inspiration for these nails by Miralina Nails on Instagram. Her work is absolutely stunning. Oh my gosh. I have all the links for the inspiration that I use in the description box, and also I make a Notion page for my design, so you can go through and click onto the actual Instagram posts in that Notion page as well. But she did this amazing neon green kind of overlaid negative space circle design, which is what I got the inspiration for this from, but mine just was not turning out well like hers. So we will revisit it in future. It's fine, you know, progress is progress, and you learn through the things that don't go well as well. And then here I am just painting some plain bases, and we can move on to starting the designs. The first one is going to be a chain butterfly nail, which I got my inspiration from, you know, those denim butterfly tops that are kind of 90s themed. I wanted to replicate this on a nail, and I think that I was being very ambitious with the vision, but it's fine. We can go through it together and see how it comes out. So I did paint one base layer of chrome just over the top to add that shine back in. And then I went in with the light blue color and a liner brush and drew the butterfly outline, starting with the body, painting out the outline and then filling it in with the gel. And then I'm just correcting the edges where the two wings meet with a spatula silicone tool. And then we can cure that for 20 seconds, and I'm going to paint the second layer onto this. I will admit it's very sheer, but I think it's pretty. I think it would have looked a lot better if I'd done it in a deeper shade, but you know, it's fine. We learn for next time. I'm going to go in with the fixed gel from Jimby, as well as some of these silver balls, and mix them together to make the balls very tacky so they stay where I want them to go. And I'm going to apply them onto the nail and just really refine out that body. I will not lie to you, this took a lot of time to do. This was a painstaking thing to do, but it's fine. We will do it, and this is a design that I made, so we're committed to it. We're gonna pull through it, okay? I started with the body and then did each wing, flash curing for 20 seconds in between each one. And then after all of these, we are done, and this is what this nail ended up looking like. I think it's pretty good. I could have added more detail, but honestly, I did not have the patience to add any more gems onto this after doing that. Moving on to the second nail, I'm experimenting again with the design that I had in my head. I'm first painting a layer of the air pop gel from Ice Gel, and I'm going to be attaching these Aurora strips onto it in a star design. Looking back, I think that flash curing these or adding them individually would have been better, because you can see I was fighting with them a lot as I was adding them, because I was trying to add them all on one layer. Wasn't working the best, especially because I was trying to make a star, okay? So I added more gel just to try and stick them down. We got there in the end, somewhat. It's like an imperfect star. It's fine. I think it's pretty cute. And then I flash cured that for 20 seconds and just snipped off any of the edges, any of the excess. And then I'm going in with the 3D Cocoist Bubble Gel from Cocoist. That was a bit redundant to say, okay? I know. We can roll that out into a long strip and into 5 individual pieces, because what I'm doing here is overlaying on the strips with the Bubble Gel. This is an idea that I had in my brain. I have not seen this idea done anywhere, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm just experimenting, okay? But I added it on. I kind of fixed it around enough just to let it smooth out. And then I flash cured after each one for 20 seconds, just so that I didn't accidentally nudge any of the existing parts when I was adding on more. I just repeated this process for each little part of the star, and we are almost done, I believe. And here is what it looks like. And then, of course, I always say, because Cocoist Bubble Gel is not to non-wipe, you need to top coat it. Please make sure you top coat it. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm just also going in and trying to remove any of the excess as well, just so that it isn't flooded in the gaps. And that is that nail finished. We can then we are now repeating the same process for a second nail, but this nail is marginally easier because I'm doing a triangle, I'm not doing a star. But it was still a bit tricky to fight with it, but it's fine. I think for a first attempt at doing this, it turned out pretty okay. The verdict is out on whether I actually like this design that much, but I think I might repeat it in the future, not sure. Please let me know your thoughts on this design as well in the comments below. And then this nail is finished and we can move on to the next nails. I'm whipping out the Hoholi Chakan top again, as well as some chrome powder to add onto this deep blue, but this time I'm using the pink because I thought the pink on the deep blue would actually give a really nice contrast, and it actually really does. I really like this combination, and I think I want to try experimenting with juxtaposed colors on bases in the future with the chrome. That didn't make much sense, but I hope it made sense. Anyway, I'm going to go in with the Jimby Fix Gel and then add this Star Charm, and then I'm going to go in with the Jimby Crazy Top Thick because we love Crazy Top Thick. She is the OG, she is the top girl, the MVP over here, and I'm going to draw a star design using a short liner brush. I am still working on my technique with using 3D lines, you know, drawing swirls and stuff. So this was just me experimenting and hoping that it turned out well, honestly. I wasn't sure if it would turn out super well because I wasn't curing in between any of these. I was just drawing them all together and hoping that it didn't glob. And I think it actually turned out pretty well. So I drew the star outline and then I cured that, flash cured that, and then I'm going in and just adding some circular dots as well. I really like this circular kind of motion to do with your brush when you're adding dots so that it kind of clumps all of the gel together. And then I'm pretty sure I flash cured after each one of these for 10 seconds as well. And then this nail is almost complete. I'm just top coating the gem and then we are done. Now we are revisiting the matte nail from earlier, and I'm going to be drawing a zigzag lightning bolt kind of motif onto this nail. I'm using the Jello Jello zigzag gel in Embow Clear, and because I knew that it would turn out very messy if I went in and tried to draw the lightning bolt from the tube, I drew 2 lines and then I went in and got another drop on my brush and added that into the center. And I'm just perfecting this out really with my brush because the beauty of this gel consistency is it's thicker than Crazy Top Thick, so it allows you to really take your time with refining the shape. But to be fair, it doesn't really self-level that well, so I did end up adding a top coat onto the top of this once I had finished and cured it. But it's the best gel that I've used so far for more abstract designs. And then we have finished that nail now, so we can move on to the next nail, which I'm going to be adding a chain onto. So I'm just chopping down my chain size and using Ivy Jimby Fix Gel to attach it. I find that chains can be a bit finicky to apply, so I'm going to be painting a little bit of the Fix Gel onto the actual nail first, as well as dipping the chain into the gel to attach it this way. I just think this gives me an extra layer of security when it comes to adding the chain and making sure that it stays on the nail as I'm adjusting it, rather than it being a bit flaky on me. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adjusting the chain as I go. This takes time, I will not lie. And then I flash cured that and just chopped off any of the excess. And I also painted a little bit more of the Fix Gel onto it, just to make sure that there's no sharp edges on that chain. I'm going in with the heavy metal liner gel from Ice Gel. I'm painting a cute silver border around the top. I took inspiration for this nail from Nail Valley Gin on Instagram. They will be linked below. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I hope I am. But it's just a little bit of a border on the top, and then I'm filling in that. And honestly, every time that I use the heavy metal liner gel from Ice Gel, I just marvel at how smooth and beautiful the silver chrome paint is. Like seriously, it's so pretty. And then I'm just drawing a star as well onto the center of the nail. And it didn't look complete, and I wanted to add a bit more Y2K-ness to it, so I just added a border kind of thing. I don't know how to describe this, but this is a pretty common star, I guess, that you see in Y2K stuff, so that's what I tried to replicate here. And now it's done. I'm doing some more freehand Y2K motifs on another nail, so this is the index finger. I'm going to be painting a butterfly outline. What I find the easiest when I'm painting symmetrical designs freehand is going side by side. So if you draw the top wing on one side, you then go to drawing the top wing on the other side, rather than doing the whole wing on one side and then trying to replicate that on the other side. I don't know if anybody else finds this, but I just find this is the easiest for me in terms of my muscle memory, in terms of painting the opposite on the opposite side, if that makes sense. I'm just finishing off the outline. I flash cured that and then added some more details into the wings, flash cured that, and then went in and finished off with the body. And I'm adding another chain to this nail. I did try just adding the chain without painting any of the fixed gel on first, and you can see it's just not as easy to work with, I find, but it still worked fine. And then I'm just flash curing, snipping off any of the excess, and adding on a second chain as well in a downwards motion kind of overlap. And I'm just repeating the same from the other nail by painting over the edges just to make sure that there's no sharp edges, and then we can move on to the next nail for now. The vision for this one was replicating an alien head, so I'm using Aurora film and I'm going to cut my own alien shape out of one of the circles and then attach this using a drop of the fixed gel from Jinbi. And then I'm just going to flatten out the film so that it lies pretty flat when you look at the light in comparison to it. And then we can flash cure that and add on some more gel over the top, just to make sure that you move that gel towards the edges, just so that it creates a nice dome shape on top of your film. After flash curing, I'm just drawing on 2 alien eyes, just to really make it look like an alien, which honestly, it kind of does, it kind of doesn't. I think that the vision got lost in the execution, but it's okay. We learn for next time. I'm just going to go in with more of the volume gel from Fiorte and just add in a jaggedy kind of chrome border around the edge. But one thing with this was I wanted to try actually painting over the top with silver rather than using chrome powder, because I saw this technique on Instagram and I think it looks okay. I think it looks pretty nice, but I feel like it's definitely a case of sometimes chrome powder would look better and sometimes paint would look better. And yes, we are almost finished with this set now. The last 2 nails are more filler nails in the sense of they are just nails that are there to allow the other nails to shine more. So I'm adding on some more of the Fiorte Volume Mirror Gel. My idea was to kind of connect it from the negative space circles, but I just feel like the execution lacked a little bit in the sense of it maybe is not the cleanest, but it's okay. I will potentially try to replicate this in the future again and reattempt it. And then adding on chrome powder and also painting over the top with heavy liner gel as well, because I thought it would look a little odd if I had chrome powder on some nails but then the paint on other nails. And the last nail design is pretty much replicating that exact style, just on a pinky finger. And once that is done, we can see the whole completed set here in comparison to my sketch design. As always, I will be going in with my final top coat. I usually leave the top coat to the end for no particular reason other than this is just how I end up doing it a lot of the time. And then I will cure for a final time under my big Cocoist Infinity lamp for 60 seconds and wipe down each nail with gel cleanser and ideally an individual wipe per nail. And then we are done. Thank you for watching this video, and please let me know your thoughts on the design in the comments below, as I really love to chat about nails with people. Please also subscribe and click the end screen if you'd like to see more of my nail designs, and until next time, I hope that you have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world.